Hello! And wait, where's the game video? There it is. Oh, OBS was a little laggy there. Hi! We're here. We're gonna look at the teams before the game starts. So, I'm KS Blue, and joining me is...
Hindus, also known as the Puffin, or as to a few people I don't like, the Toucan.
I mean, a puffin and a toucan are completely different animals, so I don't know how people can't tell the difference. But, anyway, we're not here to talk about us. We're here to talk about the teams that are about to play. And the first one is Ravensclaw. Z. There are multiple ravens,
Yes.
and they all have multiple claws.
I mean, those are, normal red teams. You don't like to play against them. If you now look at this team, you see the Gutter Runner, who is a natural one-turner. You
And very
see
close to hitting legend.
you see an absolute killer Storm Vermin. Ah, that's really not a team you like to play.
Honestly, though, there isn't actually that much development on this team. There's only like 3 players here who are really bad. There is the thrower, who is Agi4, and Agi4 has a lot of ball handling skills, but also has an armor bust. There is a Storm Vermin, which is block, guard, claw, mighty blow, piling on. So it's a claw palmer with guard. Other Storm Vermin is a complete rookie. Looks like he has not even played a game. No, he's played 2 games, actually. No SPP in those games. And last of all, there is the one-turner. Like, if you can take out those 3 developed players, I think this game will quickly swing out of Gotti's favor.
The big question is the if, and this is a G-Man 1 team. They have been playing against 4 Orc teams and 2 Killer Chaos teams, another Killer Nurgle team. I think those 3 players know how to stay alive by now, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be alive anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a very good observation. I also think probably it's likely that he'll actually be playing at the... I think he'll probably be the underdog in TV. Like, I mean, that's crazy saying that when he has 1690 TV, but I mean, I got him. Oh, hey, he has Elf Turf. That's interesting. Oh, Raven's Claws is a Harry Potter thing. I get it. I get it.
And they will be up in team value because the Cold-Blooded Exes, their opponent, only has 1,570 team value.
Okay. On that note, let's actually go look at that other team. Yeah, I'm sure that they had the TV. They were the TV underdogs for most of G-Man 1. So whether they have it or not in the playoffs could make a big difference.
And now, if we are looking at the Cold-Blooded Exes, I think they are actually pretty happy that they got Skaven as an opponent and not a Bash team.
Oh, wow. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of development on these Saurus, but these skinks are kind of insane.
Yeah, quite the opposite of my own team.
Like, if it looks like they've had a lot of turnover as well. There are 3 Saurus with a 2 beside their name and 1 with a 3. So, yeah, like I think that's where all the development went on. I mean, all the development clearly went onto the skinks, but whatever didn't go onto the skinks, it looks like a lot of it was eaten by dead Saurai.
The big problem here for Lizards is that they don't have a single tackle player.
Yeah,
that will make it really hard to knock down those gutter runners.
I agree. I think this is going to be a hard game for them because they don't really have the they have the development they need to score, and score quickly, but they don't really have the development they need to kill rats. And they're going to need to kill rats because at the end of the day, one-turners are going to one-turn.
Yeah, I think to say this here is both teams can score quickly. Both teams have the players to do so. The rats are more likely to kill things than the lizards here. I mean, the lizards do have a Mighty Blowsaurus and the Crocs, but I don't expect them to do too much damage. While the Skaven with their Claw Mighty Blow piling on, that thing removes Soros quicker than you like as the lizard coach. And the third and most important thing, I think the Skaven will have a much easier time actually sacking the ball of the lizards than the other way around.
Plus, they are the underdogs, the cold-blooded Exes, but they don't have enough TV to... The TV difference is not large enough for them to really exploit that. It's only about... It's 120, so they could scum a fireball for 30k, but they can't get something that would really help their offense, like Slibly, for instance. Actually, they don't need to help their offense. What they need is someone to help their defense, and Slibly also does that.
If we are looking at the inducements, I think really the two options the lizards here have. A wizard is amazing. They do have recovery options, and it can kill the one-turner, for example. That would be a big plus. And I think the other option would be maybe Hemlock, because Stab can kill armor value 7 players fairly easily, and then you can just ignore the blotch.
That is a good point. This is a matchup where having the Stabber could really come in handy.
But,
especially, again, with no tackle.
But it's difficult to say no here to a wizard.
Okay, looks like the game has started, so let's jump right in.
I guess the third option would be a bribe and maybe a babe or something like that. But
I think a bribe would be a mistake here.
Yeah, I agree.
You could scum a babe if you're doing something else with the first 1,000, but I'm not sure what else you would do with it.
Yeah, I think the two options here are a wizard and Hemlock. But a lot of coaches don't really like Hemlock. But I think this is one of the few matchups where Hemlock would actually be good. I would have liked to have Hemlock in my playoff game.
Okay.
And
let's just start from the beginning. Looks like they just did the kickoff, so we haven't missed much. In terms of... I don't see... Wait a second.
No, we went for Hemlock. No Mercsaurus. Phew, confusing us there a little bit.
Yeah, there he is. Took me a minute to spot him.
And as I said, I actually like having Hemlock here. It gives you another blotch skink, which is really good for the offense.
A Mercsaurus was not a possibility. He already has 6 Saurus.
Also, does the Mercsaurus really give you much? I mean, sure, Saurus are nice pieces, but especially when they don't have block yet, they really suffer against 1 and 9s, and the wizard would give you so much more than a Mercsaurus.
I agree with you about the wizard, but if he had a slot open, he could have bought a Saurus with block. It would have been 130, so it would have actually been slightly cheaper than the Fireball.
True. Yeah. Maybe. It's a tough... I probably still would rather have another wizard. or Hemlock.
Oh, quick snap. Still catching up. I'm on the first turn. We'll get there pretty quickly.
So who actually won the toss, by the way?
Let's check. It looks like Raven's Claws did.
I like choosing to defend here. I think both coaches actually want to defend first in the matchup. I mean, the scatter there is pretty good.
Oh, right. 2 plus pick up, because Agi. 2 Agi Stinks is just really good.
Yeah, every Lizard team has them. Only I don't get one. Poor me.
Well, yeah, because Larkstar has 2.
Yeah, there's the problem. He's at fault.
Let's see. This looks like a good opening half. They didn't injure any rats, but they knocked them all down, and they have a good starting cage.
I'm not sure what I think about the Source positioning there on the right side. They look like they could be out of position fairly quickly.
I like one of them there. I'm not sure that I'd love 2. I think the second one should probably be a little bit closer to the middle. Okay, that is a stun, it looks like. No, it's a KO. Do you pile on here?
You don't pile on KOs.
Statistically, you don't.
You don't pile on KOs unless you're Gengar. And even Gengar yesterday didn't pile on every KO.
I mean, sometimes you pile on KOs, but most of the time you don't.
Yeah, you pile on when the game is already won and you're only looking for the SPP.
Okay,
but...
so the problem that Gotti is going to have here is that he has left a free hit on his Storm Vermin, which I think Larkstar would have to be crazy to not take. Like, he's actually left several, well, no, only 2. That's not, 2 blocks, that's not so bad. I do feel like it's more than he should have done, though. Like, his line, that was a good first turn for him, but his line is very, like, how do I want to say this? It's not a very good screen.
That is true, but I think Larkstar positioning both those 2 Sauruses on the right side allowed him to go a little more aggressively on the left side, because if Larkstar commits here to the 2 dice on the Storm Vermin, he's either not having a great cage, and he can rotate to the right side, or at least makes it a little harder to get a good rotation going.
Looks like he's going hard onto the right side. I don't know if I love that.
Yeah, I think we really don't need to go there aggressive on the right side.
If you try to cage, I think he's going to try to cage over there, but that's not a good cage. It's like, you're probably going to end up with a rat basing your cage, so they're going to potentially have a chance to break it wide open.
I think the plan here is to cage, use the 2 Sauruses next to each other as the front corners, and block the remaining basing red with the Croxigore.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but it does rely on actually knocking down players.
Yeah, and the Croxigore working.
That as well.
Do you actually use the Croxigore here? You really want to get a Mighty Blow hit in?
Okay, well, I guess this does help with the cage situation, but also you're committing to one side really early here.
And you expose the skink there. I don't like exposing the skink there.
I mean, I think that skink is actually okay. In a sidestep, there is no tackle on either team, actually. And it is probably the least important skink on the field. Like, he still shouldn't be giving up skink blocks unnecessarily, but he does have 6 skinks.
Yeah,
and that is
true.
His second worst skink.
That is true, so it's not too bad, but in general, if you are exposing your skinks for really no reason at all, as a Lizardman coach, you're not ending up in a good position at the end of the day. I mean, it's fine to expose the skink, for example, to get a 2 dice on a good player, if you get something in return, but if you're just exposing him for really no reason at all.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the wrestle kicker run around the back of the lizard line. That'll put a lot of pressure on Larkstar, because so far he's mostly been using his skinks to cage on the backside, and they will not stand up well to that wrestler.
He made us a 2 dice over here on Stacy 2. Knockdown should be good enough. I think you just take the blitz here on the Saurus again with your vermin.
Yeah, it looks like that's what's going to happen.
Because I don't think the lizard's on a great position to punish a pylon.
And you definitely don't. You're definitely not too worried about basing a skink.
Ooh,
I don't know about that.
I don't like the reroll there too much, but
I like Gaudy's positioning a lot here. I said last turn that he doesn't have a good screen. Well, you know what? Now he has a pretty good screen. But that reroll was really greedy.
Foul is coming in. I like the foul.
+2 foul with dirty player.
Ooh, and it gets punished.
This must be the same ref from, you know what? I cannot finish that sentence. It's a spoiler. One of the playoff games that has been played, but I'm not telling you which one, had a pretty aggressive ref. Let's just leave it at that.
I think I even know which one you're referring to, but I'm not sure if I like the blitz here. I think I would have tried to get a Crocs block in and then target the good vermin with your Mighty Blow blitz.
I agree. I think you definitely want to hit the Storm Vermin. You can, if you knock down both vermins here, you can go straight down the middle and you can cage up, and then the rats need to sort of reposition around you. And you're definitely leaving some of your source behind to do that, but you can do it. And you can have your ball relatively safe, probably in a position where you're in range to score. But that would require knocking down this Storm Vermin and also blitzing the other one.
I mean, even a push would have been fine on the Crocs. Because then you can reach the good vermin. Because the good vermin is the only thing that can really hurt your Saurus.
I think you would want a POW or a POW from the Crocs if you went all in and you caged in that hole.
Yeah, but you don't
But you're right. You only need the push to hit the Storm Vermin.
Yeah, and you can just get a full cage right there in the center behind the LOS again.
Yeah.
Which should be totally fine.
But if you knock down both, then you can make your cage in front of the LOS.
Yeah, of course. Knocking both down is always better than getting a push.
Yeah. Of course, it's kind of a moot point, because you certainly cannot do that in this position.
And at the moment, we are potentially giving up a lot of free blocks here for the Skaven.
I don't think this is as many free blocks as it looks like, just because of the inherent strength advantage. But you're right. You're definitely giving up more blocks than you should be.
And we aren't going anywhere here. The ball will stay most likely.
And now Larkstar is even more pushed into a corner.
I don't like this hyper cage here. This super control. Leave the other Soros a little bit out on the left side. Give you open to rotate. Because now you will see all those Soros getting blocked that are based. You will see the remaining reds form a screen around your really dense cage.
Oh, and there's a KO.
Well, not too likely with armor value 9, but if you're giving up 3 blocks, at some point they will break.
Let's see. Now, I think we're going to see a blitz on... Yeah, like, that is exactly what I was about to say. Okay.
Ooh. Now, we are following up here. I don't like the follow-up.
I don't love that either. You're going to get hit and also potentially stabbed.
I mean, if you get a knockdown there, the follow-up is fine, because then you can knock down the Mighty Blow one. But now you're offering a free stab on your Killer Vermin, you're offering a free 2 dice from the Saurus with Mighty Blow. That's really aggressive right there.
I also think... Let's see. No, I like what he's doing on the back here. Like, I don't like that follow-up, but... Okay. I would have liked those 2 rats to go in the opposite positions. The rest of the guy, I think, should be marking in the back.
Yeah, I think we are basing a little too aggressive here.
Like, I think he's going, oh, I have a 2-player advantage, let's press it. But, like, it's lizards. There's still a bunch of strength 4.
And it's only a 1-player advantage because we got sent off.
Yeah, that's true.
The 1 dice luckily works. That makes it a lot better for the Skaven. But if that was a skull, we were taking a lot of hits.
And he followed up as well, which... I think that was a really bad follow-up, actually.
No, I think the wrestle follow-up is fine here, because it ties down the Saurus. The Saurus can blitz somewhere. And it makes the remaining dice a little bit harder. I actually like this follow-up in the position we are in. I still don't like the follow-up with the Vermin.
The problem with the wrestler there, though, is that it lets the Crocs do more stuff.
Yeah, okay, it allows the chain push from the Crocs, that is true.
It allows the chain push. It also allows the Crocs to mark the important Storm Vermin. It also lets the Crocs hit the Storm Vermin in front of it and then be marking 3 rats. Actually, it would have been marking 3 rats either way with that particular play. Still.
Ooh, armor break.
It's a KO.
Are you apothecarying this?
I would be surprised. Yeah. No Apo. He has a 75% chance, probably. Okay, if Larkstar scores, he has a 75% chance to come back before the next half. And if he doesn't score, then Gotti has a huge advantage anyway.
That is true, but that means he will be missing for the first half, where he could be removing a player a turn.
That's very true, but also that's why he shouldn't have been standing there in the first place.
Yeah, he shouldn't be standing there in the first place and giving up a free hit.
Like, don't get... Like, I think using Appa there would have been a misplay, but also it was a misplay that he got hit like that in the first place. That allowed him to be hit like there in the first place.
I'm also not sure if I like the play here from the Lizards. Now, it sounds a little bit harsh, always saying, I don't like this, I don't like that. But we are in a position where there's not too many ways out, and you are not really leaving yourself options open. Now, if you were in the center, for example, you could go to the left side, you could go to the right side. But now, basically, the only way really forward is forward, or maybe a little bit sideways and forward.
Do we know how and actually, I want to know, we're halfway through the first half. The ball has not passed the line of scrimmage.
That I like that. You don't need to go for a quick score here as the Lizards.
You don't need to go for a quick score, but you do want to move forward at least a little bit, so that you have an opportunity to score in case you need to. Like, there are no players who are in scoring position right now for the Lizards.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to be in the position, but it's not the worst thing to be in the position that you are behind the scoring line. Again, being behind the scoring line and being basically screened in, that's a whole different problem.
Exactly. Incidentally, I'm getting the names mixed up but do we know how experienced Larkstar is?
Larkstar.
Because I know there's a coach with a very similar name in Big O. Larksaurus. So...
I think I've seen his name around. Now, I believe he's a REBBL guy. So... I don't know too much about him, but I think I've seen his name around.
Because I feel like what is happening here, what it feels like to me, is that Gotti is a more experienced coach. Although he's definitely making his share of misplays, but the getting caged in on the side here, this is as much from Larkstar's positioning as it is from Gotti's. So it feels like a difference in experience. Okay, apparently Larkstar's been around for a while, so man, I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong, okay? It happens.
I mean, I get that you don't want to leave your Soros exposed. It's very reasonable. But this really, really dense positioning really doesn't allow you many options. And you still have your Crocs there, isolated.
Hasn't stood up. Actually, it was knocked down this turn. Okay, that's a stun. I will say, though, whichever coach is better, I think the dice have generally favored Gotti in this match so far.
Yeah. But, I mean, he had to use 2 of his rerolls, so he went more aggressive with his rerolls.
Not that those rerolls really did much for him.
Now, I think he has to stay where he is with the ball right now, because he can't really get the ball anywhere safe. Ooh, Stab is doing things.
Stab! We have found a coach who knows how to use Stab.
Too soon!
No, I can't elaborate on that either, because it's also a spoiler.
Oh, it looks like we are looking to go back into the center.
That was a good stab, though. And yeah, it does look like he's moving leftward, which that's going to make it a little tricky.
Yeah, you can't really get a safe place for the ball right now. Sure, you can trust into blotch sidestep.
There is a safe place, but it is further back.
Yeah, but you can't afford to go back now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just taking one step back, forming up a full cage again. Which is unnecessary. Well...
So, the Agi 5 Gutter Runner can 1-die in here on a 2+, 3+. It is a blodge skink, so I don't think we'll see that happen quite yet. But I think this is around the time where Gotti might be starting to consider it. Of course, having said that, he doesn't really need to hit the ball. Like, Larkstar has been playing this game super defensively. If he just continues to screen, then he has a good chance of being able to stall this out, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I really don't think you need to go for the ball this turn. And I don't really think you have a great shot at it anyway. But with the 2 reds stunned on the ground...
I think if I were to make a blitz with a gunner, I would hit one of the skinks on the back side.
Oh, I'm not sure if I like committing to the Crocs here.
This is a 1-die.
This is a 1-dice, and if you fail that, you have 3, 4, 5 reds on the ground.
Or effectively on the ground.
The point is not to screen off the agility 4 skink right here. The point is to screen off the cage the agility 4 skink would need if he doesn't want to potato down the field.
And he definitely doesn't. He's been playing so defensively, there is no way he's going to potato. Unless he literally has no other choice. Oh, that's... really?
And what did that gain us? Now we have a 3-way through for the lizards.
Yeah. Like, they need to knock down a storm vermin, and they can just go blow on right through.
They don't even need a knockdown necessarily. They only would need a push, and they have a pretty secure sideline cage.
Actually, Hemlock is basing that storm vermin. 9+ stab. Probably.
I think you just go for a blitz with the block Soros here on the line red and go down the right side.
I would take the stab first, and then if it didn't work, I would blitz. Stab it. If it doesn't work, you're still getting an assist. If it does work, you can blitz that gutter runner who is trying to be in the way, or the lineman who is almost surfable.
I'm not a big fan.
I mean, this isn't a bad blitz. This is what I was. This was the plan B I said anyway.
It's actually pretty decent here. This allows us to go through. I think I still would have preferred the line red as target, just because it makes it easier to get to the right side and next to the sideline. You have a lot of sides that you will be safe next to the sideline.
I like going through here. I still think Hemlock should have stabbed first, though.
No, I actually don't think Hemlock should have stabbed, because you can use Hemlock for the cage, you can use Hemlock for the screen, and breaking an armor value 8 player is not too likely.
some GFIs are going to be required here. Well, a GFI. One. Or I guess you could just do it all with skinks, but, well, no, a GFI either way.
Yes, but you move the ball first.
For sure.
And do it as the last thing you're doing.
Yeah,
well,
like...
probably... Do you take a Crocs block here? Probably, on the gutter runner. It's a 3 dice, and you can get next to the other gutter runner and the lineman. And the agility 5 gutter runner will probably dodge away from the Crocs anyway. Ooh. Not sure if I like the positioning there.
This is risking a lot on a 4+ dodge.
Well, let's see how he finishes off the cage. What is he planning to do here?
Okay,
because
that's better. Still a 4+ dodge. This line rat, 4+ dodge, 2 die blitz, which I think is pretty necessary, actually, for Gotti at this point.
Yeah, I really don't know why Gaudi went for committing really hard for the Crocs. But let's see how he gets himself out of the position.
Yeah, like, I think... Like, the thing is, like... I think this positioning is even just to avoid the 1 GFI. Larkstar, you have 2 turns left and 3 rerolls. You could afford one single GFI.
No, in general, I like going for a sideline cage with a screen here. That's also why I would have liked breaking through the lineman instead of the vermin.
The thing is, though, this isn't a safe sideline cage.
Yeah, this is not a safe, not necessarily a safe sideline cage, but the gutter runner can also reach through if he runs around. The wrestler gutter runner. And well, let's see. It will still be very hard to actually knock down the skink, even if you get to him.
Yeah, that is true. You need POWs pretty much. It's either the 4+ dodge with the line rat, or a whole lot of dodges with the wrestle gutter runner. And honestly, I would probably take the line rat. You're more likely to get there once you factor in all the dodges. And also, you have 2 dice instead of 1. Like, I don't think there's any world where your blitz is not on the ball carrier here, though.
Well, you're saying that now.
Okay,
Are we going for a worm?
No, what? No! What are you doing?
I really hate using the reroll there. Well, we get our injury for it, but I really hate using the reroll. Because you do have a natural 1-turner. Even if it goes wrong, you can rely on him to do something.
I think that Appa was a mistake.
The Appa was fine if you want to win the game. You keep a Saurus in play. You keep the numbers up. And you can't really afford to lose a Saurus.
Okay, yeah, actually I've changed my mind. If the Storm Vermin, if the Palmer was still in the pitch, then I think that would have been a mistake. But it's off the pitch, so it's fine. But that was probably the single least important blitz he could have made.
I mean, I could agree with a blitz not on the ball carrier itself.
But not on that lizard.
Yeah, then you would want to be in a position where you can force the score this turn.
You hit a skink or a Mighty Blowsaurus, or the Mighty Blowsaurus, or the Blocksaurus who's tying up 3 rats. Well, actually, I wouldn't hit the Blocksaurus either. TBH.
I think you can just blitz down. Let's see.
I would just score this turn, to be honest. Like, the Skaven has a 1-turner anyway. It honestly, it doesn't matter whether they have 1 turn or 2. And you can score safely this turn.
The Bonehead here really hurts the Lizard. But I think it's fine to blitz away the Gutter Runner and then stall out right there next to the sideline, because anything besides a knockdown then is a score for you anyway.
Okay, so
it's a pretty safe stall.
Had this Gutter Runner been knocked down, then I think it would be. But okay, I mean, it's caged, so it's pretty safe. I mean, like, this is probably fine. I just don't love it.
Yeah, I think he could have made that safer. Let's see. Now, if he didn't find a knockdown there...
yeah, that block was more likely to work than the 3+ dodge, actually.
Yeah, but... Still, I would have liked to see him next to the sideline saying, sure, you can go for 1 dice on the ball, but anything besides a knockdown, and I score. And you only have 1 turn left. And you could have screened him off really well with all those 3 skinks.
I actually think the sideline cage would have been a mistake.
Not sideline, end line.
End line, yeah.
Touchdown.
End line would have been fine. Sideline would have been a mistake because you're potentially risking the ball scattering out.
Yeah. I was talking about the end next to the end line, because then you can still choose to. You have sidestep, you can still choose to get knocked down.
So
inwards.
This was kind of a garbage blitz because they can only get 1 Gutter Runner on the ball carrier. I mean, well, they can make actually, he can make a 4+ dodge to get a second one. Wait. No. Yeah, 4+. I'm not sure that he will, though, and also that opens him up to chain pushing.
I mean, you now have marked up all the skinks. The problem is that Hemlock can just 2 dice the Gutter Runner, and then there's basically a 2+ dodge through.
Or you could stab it, but I would...
Yeah, I'd go for the 2 dice there. You don't go for the stab.
I would go for the 2 die. You only need a push.
And if you fail the stab, then you're in a horrible position.
You're not, because you're still just a 1 in 36 away from scoring. Like, you can do nothing but run it in, and you still score 56 out of 55 out of 56 times.
Yeah, because the left is open. I missed the left being open. Now you might as well try the stab, because the stab can't go wrong.
I mean, the Hemlock play can't really go... It is still more... The blitz is still more likely to succeed than the dodge. It's the same odds on 2 dice.
The scoring threat.
Yeah, that feels good. But yeah, the blitz is on 2 dice is the same odds as the dodge, but you also have a 50% chance of a reroll. Or you can just blitz with the Sauruses on the ground. Which we may see next. Yeah, there it is.
There's a POW. Ooh. You take the death. It's a fresh Gutter Runner. You don't care that much about a fresh Gutter Runner.
It is 1 less Gutter Runner, though. And if the Storm Vermin doesn't come back, then Gaudi's out of bench. Even if it does come back, he's out of bench actually.
Yeah, but I think you're playing with your good players from now on anyway.
Yeah, that's maybe true.
We found the score here as the Lizards.
I feel like Gaudi could have prevented this, but Larkstar did quite well in taking advantage of the opportunity he was given.
Ooh, big knockout roll.
Oh,
Big knockout rolls. Of course, we will get another try, but this could have big implications.
Okay. The Gutter Runner, the one turner does not have whatchamacallit. Doesn't have Agi or two heads. In fact, the only non-normal on this player is the plus movement. So he is going
still
to...
a natural one-turner.
Yeah, like, it's still a natural one-turner. Like...
And he can probably just blitz through a skink.
Okay, yeah, like, there is skink. Could he actually?
Let's see. It depends
6,
on
7,
how
8, he
the
would
Lizard
need to do more GFIs to blitz.
Yeah, they all have sidestep. So that means, well...
I would not blitz with the one-turner. And not without an assist at least. And you need at least 2 GFIs for an assist. Probably 4. That is 2 additional ones. Oh. You know what? Actually, I changed my mind. With this positioning, you are definitely blitzing a skink. Although, if you roll a both down, then your one-turn threat is just dead in the water. Like, I would actually set up the chain push here. You have sidestep, so it's easy to do. Get closer, so you need fewer GFIs, and so you have safety. And I mean, like, there's a skink right here on the line of scrimmage. You can easily get 1 or 2 pushes out of that. Get yourself so you're doing fewer GFIs, and so that you have a lot of safety. And if it goes wrong, then it usually goes wrong by killing the skink. So you're not any worse off than you were without it.
Well, let's see what we decide on.
Plus also, here's the other thing. With a reroll, the chain push is less likely to end in a turnover than a GFI.
Oh, I was wondering why we have a reroll here. It's because the thrower has leader.
Left him off completely for the first half. Which, you know, I think is actually pretty interesting, because it guarantees that you have a reroll for the one turn.
That's why we used the last reroll earlier.
I mean,
it makes sense.
I think he was still too greedy with his rerolls, but... but he could afford it to some extent. Okay, that means nothing.
Yeah, you don't do anything with the blitz here. I mean, you could try to move the Croxigor and bonehead him to make it easier for Gaudi.
This is Elf Turf. Yeah, I think I'm probably I have probably disabled the shader that makes Elf Turf look good. I'm sorry to say.
I was wondering that it's just normal elf turf. Then I looked at your screen and.
Yeah, it doesn't look so great. But you know what?
I think that's because there's no grass.
The damn grass is actually one of the most resource-intensive things that's rendered in Blood Bowl 2. Which is super weird, because it definitely shouldn't be, but you get noticeably better performance if you turn it off.
I mean, I do like basing up the... well, do I like it? I don't like giving up the...
Okay, so putting one base on this guy I like, but I think you should have left enough. You should have left a full screen on the back line, I think.
I agree. Of course, we now have diving tackle next to the ball. That will be big.
Diving tackle and sidestep. I mean, yeah, why not, right? I do think you can get diving tackle off that ball though, pretty easily. But you definitely need to knock it down because it'll still be in the way of your one turner. This I think is a good argument in favor of. Gee, I wish I had set up for those pushes.
Yeah, getting a natural one-turner makes you a bit lazy with the one-turn setup. Now... Well, my problem here with the screen is, if we get rid of the diving tackle, you can basically get through...
Ooh!
That's a skink gun.
Oh.
That's a good start for Gaudi. That's another knockdown. Might as well pile on.
Okay. I think I missed something there. I had to run to the door.
We killed a skink.
I know, I saw that part.
And we knocked down the Soros with the vermin and then piled on, but nothing happened. But
that's the part I missed. Okay, I think that was a big mistake. I think that, well, it might be fine. Like, you need to hit wrestle or block on this guy. And anyway.
But it's fine if you lose the wrestler and you actually want to take the mighty blow claw piling on hit on the Saurus.
I don't know. I think mighty blow on this skink would be really good. I don't think you should have followed up. This gutter runner is now committed to running past all of these skinks. Which, I mean, it was kind of committed to it before, but now it's, like, really committed.
Now we have 3 dice. Only a push. That's a big one.
Let's see. 4+, 4+, 3+, 4+, 3+, 3+, 2+.
Now, if only there wasn't a rat standing in the way with a blitz above him.
Yeah, if that rat wasn't there, you could do this with much fewer dice rolls.
But we roll 2 ones on the pickup. I would have liked to see him try, but I'm pretty sure Larkstar will be happy with that.
Yeah. The dodges were 4+3+2+. If the rat had not followed up. So it was way better without the follow-up. Only one lizard stands up.
Yeah, I think this should still be fine because this allows us to field 11 players. And it's only a Saurus without any skills, so it should be fine.
Yeah, like I think you definitely would prefer it to be another Saurus, but I don't think it's devastating to not have it.
Let's see how we set this up. And I'm curious to see if Gaudi will go for a quick score here and look to win without overtime, or if he's looking at overtime.
I think overtime is such a coin toss, actually. Like, if the Rats get the ball in overtime, they can definitely score. Almost certainly. But in other respects, I think it favors the Lizards. Like, the attrition game is not going to be kind to the Rats at this point.
Well, you're saying that, but we do have the Claw Mighty Blow Vermin back.
It's probably not going to be kind to the Rats.
And the problem is early score. I'm not sure if you can stop a quick score by the Lizards yourself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And these Lizards with 2 Agility Force Kings also don't have a bad one-turner.
I think what it really comes down to is how many removals each player gets. Like, I mean, big surprise, but the more the player advantage tips one way or the other, the better overtime looks for one of them and not the other.
And I think it's also a big question of what players do get removed, because removing a Agility Force King here would be really big for the Reds. While removing the one-turner, for example, could be pretty good for the Lizards.
I mean, I think the Lizards definitely want to remove the... Okay, well...
Ryan's interesting. And a touchback.
I think the Rats want to remove Saurus more than Skinks. I think the Lizards definitely want to remove the one-turner. That has to be #1 priority.
Pow on the armor level 8 Saurus, and he's gone. That's a good start for Gaudi.
That it is. Okay, this tells me he probably wants to foul.
I definitely would have. I think I would have taken the wrestle here. Because a Saurus on the ground helps you much more than the wrestle line rat on the ground hurts you. And we get a foul out of it as well, if we want to.
I think it's going to be a foul. Although worth saying, like against another team, I would. Well, it is a line rat. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Also, what exactly is this defensive setup here? We're offering a free hit on the Agility Force King. I mean, sure you have 2 of them, but surely you can't offer them this free.
I feel like these skinks should probably be 1 square back. Both of them.
I mean, the Rats don't have tackle, so the threat isn't too high, but still.
The only thing I can think of is that maybe Larkstar was worried about losing his remaining lizards, but at the very least, that Agi skink should have been the other sidestep skink who is currently getting blitzed.
That's a turnover.
I'm not sure about that. Like, that feels like a really random play. And I guess he didn't reroll it though, so I guess he's happy taking the turnover. But
we can get a free dice on the one turner here.
Mm-hmm.
Do we go for it is the question. We could just take a mighty blow hit on line red.
I think excuse me. I think you definitely take the hit on the one turner. Like a game. If you remove the one turner, your odds of winning the game shoot up dramatically.
He decides to go for the attrition game by just punching a mighty blow hit, but he only finds pushes. Are we setting up a foul here? Surely you would want to move this.
I think that's
Ro64
yeah,
ones.
like the Crux could be marking two players, and he isn't.
Or at least move him forward to not expose the fouling skink if you're going for a foul.
I also don't like the foul here.
Yeah, that. Well.
I mean, if you're fouling any player on this team, there are only two players on Gaudi's team who I think are worthwhile to foul, and this is one of them. But potentially, you're putting, like, your best fouler here is a, like, what is that? Over 100 TV skink?
That's 100 TV skink, but I think we could have played this turn a little bit better. What's going on here?
No, this is foul.
Yeah, but now we get a negative assist if we foul.
Source cancels it out. Okay, but you did that then? What? Okay, actually, I like this play, but also,
yeah, but
what the hell are you fouling with? Are you fouling with the Agi skink?
If you're going for this play, why wouldn't you target the one turner there?
I know, right? Okay, this must be the foul with the Agi skink, which is like, I really don't like that.
And it gets punished.
Yeah, skink gets sent off, no armor break, and had it not been sent off, it also would have been the Agi skink would have been hit by a line rat as well.
That was a foul. I didn't expect that way.
Also a needless dodge.
This really hurts the lizards. Using your agility 4.
Yeah, like, playoff nerfs happen. Remember. That was not a good play. Oh! It's a stun. But
stun is good enough here, really, for the lizards.
Mm-hmm. For the rats.
Yeah. Well, a stun is still good for the lizards in terms of he didn't get off the pitch, but
true.
The stun is definitely good enough for the rats here.
I do think that the one turner is going to be vulnerable again. I don't know if he'll be hit. Okay. I mean, yeah, he's probably not getting hit there.
Do we like committing so many players this far into the backfield?
Let's see. Well, the rats have a 2-player advantage. Both of the players who have been removed are Saurus. Wait, no. One was the Saurus and one was the Agi Skink. If Gaudi's planning on scoring late, then I think it's fine. And it's starting to look like that is the case.
I mean, I do see the reasoning why he got so many players there. It was to deny a sidestep if he doesn't find a knockdown. But
he's thinking
still,
about the reroll. I mean, probably he wanted to pile on just to protect his Storm Vermin.
Going for the 4+ dodge.
Yeah, I think that's fine. It's the last move you're making. If he's on the ground doesn't hit as hard as either of those players who were basing him. And, like, there's no way Larkstar is fouling a game.
See, my reasoning here would be, you're planning to make a dodge away from the Crocs anyway. So I would have moved the guard where the wrestle kick is now, use the wrestle kick somewhere else where it could have been useful, and then make the 4+ dodge first, and then go for the 3 dice. 2 dice.
Well, again,
could have made it a 3 dice.
I think the plan was to pile on to Hemlock and get out of danger that way. Oh, greedy reroll. Instantly as well. Larkstar really wants to remove this Storm Vermin.
I think he's really feeling the pressure now with the Agility Force King gone, and he feels like he needs to force this. But he isn't really going too aggressive while doing so. So I'm not exactly sure what we're doing here.
I feel like both of the coaches here have gone on tilt a little bit. Like, I think this game hasn't gone how either of them expected. And they're sort of scrambling a bit to find their sea legs, as it were.
Yeah, I like how Superfed put it yesterday. It's around a 64 game. Anything can happen. And we're just moving down the left side, and I like it.
Yeah,
Ooh.
like, most of Larkstar's team is marked right now. And a gutter runner can definitely reach safety on the left side.
I really think we could have punished this clump, this dense formation of the Reds here a lot more than we did.
Like, there were literally no lizards marking it, so I agree. Like, I don't think it was really viable for Larkstar to go all in on it, but there probably should have been at least 1 or 2 lizards marking it.
I like the chat now. And just because it fits right now, this game won't go to kicks. You needed to watch the game from yesterday to get that. It
probably won't go to kicks. Yeah, I watched some of the games yesterday, but not all of them. Actually,
it was a very specific game, and there were quite a few similarities here, actually.
I actually have one queued up right now to watch after this is done. Well, I say that. That's not true. After this is done, I'm going to host Hardens and then go watch another game.
Yeah, because there are plenty of games left for today. I will be also casting another game. Now, Blitz coming in on the Source.
There are approximately 4 games starting immediately after this one.
Ooh, greedy.
Actually, I don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate the reroll. It is still a greedy reroll in overtime format.
It's a little greedy,
but I don't hate it.
He had 4 rerolls, and his cage is much safer if the source is on the ground.
You find a power on Hemlock,
Oh!
and Hemlock's
Hemlock
dead.
is dead! Well, at least Hemlock already got his stab in.
Yeah, Hemlock turned out to not be the very best inducement for this game, at least how we used him.
I mean, I think Hemlock contributed, to be honest.
Yeah, he contributed, but was he really worth 170k?
I mean, here's the question.
Was it worth to not have a... Ooh, that's a half die on the Crocs.
I think the question you really need to ask is, would a wizard have been better than Hemlock? And I'm not convinced it would have been.
Well, now look at the cage and tell me again that a wizard wouldn't be nice here.
Yeah, but...
Of course, that's not how it works, but
if the wizard was here, then the cage would just be more spread out. You'd hit 3 rats with the fireball instead of 6.
Yeah, that is true, but still a lightning bolt could be amazing for the lizard, especially with 2 agility force. And as I said earlier, I like Hemlock for this game as an inducement, but I think we didn't get the full potential out of him. We could have gotten.
I think Hemlock performed pretty well for what he was used for.
And
maybe he could have been used better. I don't know. I think he was the better pick over the wizard.
Now 2 dice on the ball here. To me,
I take that.
But I probably wouldn't have. Do you follow this up there?
Yes, because you need to cancel out the assist.
Yeah, but if you don't follow it up, you could mark up the gutter runner and get your cancelled that way. And then you wouldn't have a skink next to a storm vermin.
I mean, I wouldn't have marked out with a diving tackle skink in the first place, because I would have put hit in case this happened. Okay, reroll. Yeah, that reroll is fine. I would have saved the diving tackle guy to go after the ball, is what I'm saying.
Ooh, that's not a good scatter for the
imagine
wizards.
if the diving tackle guy hadn't moved yet. He could go and stand right beside the gutter runner.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we maybe had the better play here.
And then the 2+ handoff happens to the Agi 5 gutter runner, but you know, it happens. Actually, probably 3+ handoff, because you can still mark the Agi 5.
You could also just chain push him there and then just make a 2+ dodge with the gutter runner.
Oh!
Done again, and this time for the remaining of the game. I have to say it's not looking good for the lizards.
6 lizards out with a bench of 2. There are 4 players down, and the rats are no players down. Not only that, they are 4 Saurus down. Wait, no, 3 Saurus down. I cannot count. Half of the strength players are just gone.
And my problem here is, if we still had the agility force skink as the lizards, we would still be in a decent position because we had a good shot at a 2-turner or a 1-turner. Now we are looking most likely at overtime.
I mean, there is another Agi 4 skink, but...
Yeah, that is true, but 1 agility force skink makes the 1-turner a lot harder than 2.
Yep, that's very true. Can't do a 2+ pickup. Gotti has seen blood, it seems. This is a win more play.
I think Gaudi is looking at overtime and he's looking at removing players.
Yeah, that seems likely.
Because with the setup we have right now, we are not scoring next turn, so we are not looking to score twice.
I mean, he could just move his one-turner like 2 squares forward, and that's a 2+ to score.
That is true. That is true. Of course, we can still go. But to me, this is looking like we're stalling this out till turn 16.
I agree.
Then say, pull off a one-turner, and if you don't, I will have the play advantage in overtime, and I am confident I can win the overtime.
Yeah, I agree. This is looking like a stall out. I'm just saying he could just pass it to the one-turner, hand off to the one-turner rather, and easily score at any time. Which, I mean, I think it's the correct way to lever it. Actually, in this situation, you don't use the one-turner to score quickly. You use the one-turner to have the threat of scoring quickly. So even if Larkstar pulls off some stunty bullshit, and gets in front of this ball, Gotti just scores quickly.
I mean, I think the positioning's fine. Now we open. I'm not sure if he maybe didn't play this a little too fast. I think there might have been a better way to get onto the ball here. A knockdown on the armor value 6 thrower the second time, this time of Mighty Blow.
That's a KO. Reroll has already been used.
But if we go to overtime, he will be back. Most likely. 75% that he will be back.
Yeah. I want to see a skink marking this gutter runner, but I'm not sure what's like the only skink that's in range is the Agi 4 guy, and you cannot risk him. You cannot risk him. If he goes down, you're just dead in the water. If you're Larkstar.
To be honest, I like marking here because he is blotched. He will be hard to knock down, and I think I would be more comfortable at trying to deny the score here than trying to play for the one turn overtime, because he still needs to. The Lizards would want ideally to force the Skaven to score a turn early, and
that is true.
He can't do that if he doesn't get in pressure. And at least, well, I think we can't get an easy 3 dice on the skink, and against Blotch that is pretty safe. I mean, the big problem here is
get an easy 3 die, but not with block.
The big problem here is if the line red moves out of the way, we can just go for a 2+ dodge. And be far gone, and then take the 2 dice on the skink.
Yeah, that's probably the play here. Actually, you can.
I'd probably move the one-turner forward first and then hand it off to the one-turner, actually. Just because he has blotch instead of dodge wrestle.
I think the one-turner is going to be like part of the it's not really a cage, but part of the defense.
Yeah, but you could do the same with the handoff.
You're right, you can. But I think I think what I said is what's going to happen. I would blitz the Agi 4 skink with the wrestle line rat. That is the play I am expecting.
Yeah, you only want the 2 dice. You want to use the other gutter runners to get into the screen. We take, of course, the 3 dice on the other skink. Ooh. Only a stun. He's safe for now.
For now.
Yeah, I think you just move the two gutter runners forward, put up a good screen, and then take a 2 dice with the wrestle line right from here. If it's a POW, great, take the POW, but both down and pushes should be fine as well.
I would take both down over a push.
I'm not sure. If we take a push, we are tying down the Saurus.
Yeah, but if you take them both down, then the skink is not in range. And I think the skink is the bigger threat to the ball here. It can just casual 2+ dodge for in here for a.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That is not the skink you should be hitting.
I don't like. I mean, he is the. I don't like that.
In principle, yes, you should be hitting a skink with that line rat, but that is the wrong skink. Now.
Yeah, now we are basically saying, take the 1 dice, see how far you can get.
This is let's see, 2+2+2+2+, I think. Actually, no, you can mark here, so it's just 2+2+, 1 die blitz. Yeah,
I think I would like to see the mark on both of the line rat and the gutter, and then take a 2+2+2+1 dice. Whatever well,
yeah, like I agree. I think that's the best play. You do need to do a GF.
Why did we do that?
What? What?
What does that give you?
Okay, so, I mean, that's nice, except that it doesn't actually stop him from scoring. It doesn't even lock down the Agi 5 gutter runner, actually. It doesn't care about Prehensile Tail. I guess it forces him to score this turn.
That is true. But you would still be in a forcing position, really. Well, actually, that might be better. Actually, this might be better.
I think the Blitz was still better, but I think the Skink Blitz was still better. It was certainly more interesting, but like this isn't terrible. I can't criticize this because it's not a bad play. Like, this is a good play. I just think the Blitz would have been a better play.
The problem here is there still might be a stall here. Knockdown on the skink.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have hated the pylon there.
Let's see. It would have been on Stunty with Mighty Blow. That is a... Well, it's a 9 for a injury. It is a 6, I think, for a KO.
Because the chance that you get another KO is pretty likely because you still have Mighty Blow.
Mm-hmm.
And getting the injury just makes him stay out for sure. And you're not using the Vermin the next turn anyway.
Yeah.
I agree, it would be greedy. But
it would be greedy, but it's the sort of greed he probably could have gotten away with.
Yeah, and that might have even been rewarded.
Like, it was a 60% chance to get at least a KO or better. And even if it turned into a stun, I don't think... Like, it's nice to have that skink removed, but I don't think it's the end of the world if it isn't.
Yeah. Well, I'll be right back in about a minute.
Okay.
I think you can handle it alone, because nothing's happening right now anyway.
Yeah, I think Gotti is trying to decide whether or not he can risk stalling for another turn. And I mean, he could, maybe. I think he needs to blitz this skink, and if he knocks Jennifer down, he can stall. But if he doesn't, he probably should not. Yeah. Let's see. I don't think we'll see dodges here, at least not right away. If the stall happens, probably the end of turn. I think Gaudi's gonna score. There it is. Why bother naming you? Well, I don't know. He did just score. Thrower stays down. And all of the lizards stay down. Okay. I don't think Larkstar can score here without potatoing. He's going to be going full... Oops. He's going to be going full potato. Probably retrieve with his... I would have both of the skinks around the midline field. Is the kicker still in play? The kicker is still in play. I would have the Agi guy further up and the sidestep guy further back. And then you just need to hand off to the Agi guy and potato. You also need to spread out your remaining Saurus, because otherwise Gaudi just kicks shallow and steals the ball.
So, did we just run it in, or did anything else happen?
He just ran it in. He looked at it long and hard to see if he could do something else. Okay, the Rats can definitely score in one turn here. It's risky, but it's possible. Okay, I think this is a mistake already. The potato is mandatory for Larkstar to score here. And he is playing for the win here. The Rats at this point are going to have a big advantage in overtime. But the Agi 4 guy is much more likely to not be knocked down because he has block than the sidestepper. So he's the one who should be doing the potato win. Rats have a one-turner right here. They could kick here and then just
if
pick
we
up the
set
ball.
him up on the line, but we didn't set him up on the line. That's what he's referring to.
Okay, fair. I guess perfect defense could happen, but fair.
Yeah, or blitz could also allow us to get
I would
score.
kick to this corner, and if a blitz or perfect fence happens, you can set up to go and steal the ball anyway because your Rats gutter runners have a million moves.
High kick.
Okay, I don't like that kick. Okay, actually no, it's a fine kick. It should have been on the other side. There was...
Actually, I think I would have liked the short kick to the right side.
It should have been on the right side. There is no reason that kick should have been on the left side. But it's a pretty minor thing at the same time. You know what?
Travis REBBL, I think Gaudi just...
Actually, you know what it was? He forgot to put his kicker in the middle.
Oh. Yeah, that makes targeting a corner harder.
Yeah.
Now, this high kick means the Agility Foreskin could reach the end zone.
Yeah, just barely.
That's an interesting blitz.
That makes sense if you want the Crocs to be one of your cage corners, which is, of course, taking a risk of the Bonehead. Bonehead did not fire.
Yeah, we are going for the sideline cage here.
Which is probably fine.
To be honest, I would have liked him one more square to the left. Right there next to the side. Okay.
Oh, good thing he has your feet. Yeah, then this Saurus just comes down and completes the cage.
Travis REBBL, the kicker, didn't actually get to kick because he was in the side and not in the center.
Who do you blitz if you're the Rats? You get one blitz, and it's really damn important.
Let's see how the Lizards finish this one off.
You are definitely not hitting the scoring threat. Unless he does that. Okay, I mean, really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where's the wrestle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 GFIs he can get, and 2 plus dodges. He can get a blitz on the ball carrier with the wrestle gutter runner. Or with no GFIs, he can do it with the Agi gutter runner. Maybe 1 GFI with the one
I
turner,
think
but
we are just targeting the Crocs here. We are targeting the Crocs and that's screening off.
I mean that's...
At least that's what we're doing right now.
That's fine. Like, this is not a bad play. I would have liked to see the blitz on the skink. This is probably the safer play. But not the play with the best rewards.
There's a knockdown.
The stun is ideal. Yeah, now this skink just cannot score.
Wall of players. Just build a wall of players and he can't get there.
Basically. It just needs one more player beside the guard Storm Vermin to make sure that he doesn't get knocked out of the way. And also a mark on the other 2 Saurus so that no chain pushes can happen. And you know what? There are enough players free to do all of that. Oh, please, God, he actually marked the Saurus. Okay, that's fine. Extra safety on the weak point of your screen. Please mark the Saurus.
The problem here is that the Mighty Blow Saurus here can just take a 2 dice on the Vermin. Mm-hmm. Then, well, that makes it a little bit harder. 2, 3, 4, 5,
He's going to leave
6,
at
7.
least one Saurus open for potential pushing shenanigans. You didn't mark either of them? This is an easy chain push. Although... I'm not sure how the... I mean, there are so many chain push options here. I'm not sure which one is the best for the score. Let's see. If you chain push him, you can get him out of the way. You can knock him down. Then you're still in the way after you hit him. That doesn't work. Chain push there. I'm not sure. I'm certain there is a chain push here that can give you a scoring chance, but I'm not sure what it is. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe like that. That pushes there. That pushes there. Yeah, that would. Well.
The problem with taking the hit on the vermin is if we only find a push, then we are blocking off the way again with the blitz.
That's not a good chain push though. Yeah, like, that's the real trick here. You can't just push the vermin, because you'll end up pushing it into a place where it is still in the way.
What are we doing here?
This is setting up a chain push.
But does that help us? How did that help us? I think we can't afford.
I think this is okay. The diving tackle is in scoring range.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to do it with that.
I mean, you don't, but you take what you can get.
Yeah, but I think there was a better shot here.
I also think there's a better shot here, but some shot is available. Like 3 plus,
well,
3 plus, 3 plus, 2 plus, 2 plus. Also another 3 plus for the handoff. Wait, no. No, why? Why?
I think he decided he can't score and was looking for the vanity pass. I think that's what happened here.
At least you didn't use the reroll. Okay, one rat stood up. One lizard stood up.
Only a skink. Oh,
and the kick goes to... It's the rat! Wait, no, it's the lizards.
Somebody got a little too excited here.
Look, I saw the rats first, okay? But no, it's the lizards. Okay, so I think this is the most interesting result.
Suddenly there are a lot of more people in chat.
I think that... Oh, okay. Who hosted me?
I think that was Herringsword, probably.
I mean, I'm going to bounce it back to him in, like... soon? But okay. Yeah.
Well, you're all coming a little late to a fairly silly game.
Okay, so lizards can still score quickly, but I think this is the more interesting result because the rats definitely could have scored in 2 turns, and I don't think there's anything the lizards could have done to stop it.
Yeah. If the kick would have gone favorable for the rats here, then this would have been over pretty much.
Yeah. With the lizards, they have the advantage of receiving, but I think that stopping them is something that is achievable for the Raven's Claws. You're right, I didn't. I'm gonna have to watch it later.
Well, Steve, did you see the game we just watched?
Steve, no spoilers. Cut it out with the spoilers.
Yeah, I want to rewatch the other game.
I have my chat up, so I can't just delete your post. But seriously, watch out for that. Don't do it. Like, unfortunately, the disadvantage of putting the chat into stream is that I cannot just delete your post because it is still there on screen, on stream. But also, what I can do is ban you from chatting. So,
Yeah, I
you
think
get
he didn't actually want to
you get one
spoil.
warning.
He just got a little excited.
That is why you get one warning. You know what? I will mod you, Superfed, because why not? Let's see. How the hell do I mod you?
I think you just type /mod and then his name after space. Well, this game got to go overtime because both coaches didn't play this game optimally. I think that's fair to say.
The positioning on both sides was somewhat suspect.
Now, I think the first job for Superfed is to stop all the people asking for swords now from asking for swords.
Yeah, no. The only person I'm giving that to is Superfed. Just throwing that out there.
Weather is nice.
Neutral kickoff. He had kicked that time, so you know, I'd say that's the right place to kick. Actually, no. I think this should have been a shallow kick.
I mean, did we set up the kick guy this time? Yes, we did. That's nice. Taking use of a skill that cost you 20k, that is nice. Mighty blow hit comes in.
Actually, speaking of the kickoffs, I think they have been... I think this... Okay, that's KO. He's gone. I think every kickoff in this game has been a weather scatter. A nice weather. A gust of wind.
Now we had a high kick too.
Oh yeah, right, we did have one high kick. Every other one has been a gust of wind.
Ooh, close there. Sure feet needed.
Oh yeah, no, Gaudi's defense was really good. I think the only thing he did wrong is he should have marked at least one of those two free Saurus. Not the end of the world. Like, sure you want to move him, but not the end of the world.
Do we want random guy to join us for the cast?
Gee, I don't know. He's the one who brutalized me in the playoffs last year.
It's your call, it's your stream.
Yeah, like if he wants to join in, go ahead. But only him. 3 people is enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. Wait, do we really want a miner on our stream?
Nah,
it's fine, you can join. GFI is good. We are making a lot of pressure on the cage here. Are we overcommitting a little bit here?
I think it's fine as long as the players who have not yet moved go in front of the cage. Yeah, usually I only get vulgar when I'm angry. So okay, now I think it's overcommitting to the back.
Yeah, we are risking a potato just running it down. And I mean, this is pretty straightforward here for the lizards. You take the mighty blow hit on the vermin, you then have the skink, crocs, and the other skink to form a sideline cage.
And then you're in scoring position. And the rats are not in a place where they can pull off a repeat of what they did last time.
Yeah, you even can use the mighty blow Soros here to screen off.
The only catch is you kind of need the crocs to move. And even then, you can do it without the crocs, but it's a lot safer with it. It's a lot safer with the crocs. Okay, that was a needless dodge.
Yeah, you would definitely move the ball first. Sorry.
Yeah, like, this feels really safe.
Now, let's see. I think we might be at risk of getting served here.
With the sidestepper?
Look at it this way: the agility 5 skink, the agility 5 gutter could very well reach the square next to the 2 skinks, and the other dodges are pretty straightforward.
I mean, you would need to dodge 3 players past into 3 tackle zone squares.
Yeah, that is true.
One of them is actually 4 tackle zones now.
Yeah. It's okay. I shut up.
Yeah. If it was just one of those, then I would agree with you. But with 3 of them, I think the odds of that happening are essentially nil.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, I think the blitz is going to be on the crocs, but I think the blitz needs to be on the skink. I don't care if well, actually no. I retract that statement. Like, it's just that dodge is such... Getting to that skink is such low odds. Especially with a player who actually has Russell.
Yeah, I think we need a wall of players here in front, and that's why we blitz the crocs. Now that's a weird angle. That's not good enough, really. The wrestle leaves the path open. Why did we come from here? If we would have come from downwards...
It would have been fine, yeah.
Ooh.
Let's see...
The guard player could still plug the hole, but...
Gutter Runner can reach there with 1 GFI. The Wrestle Gutter Runner can plug that hole with 1 GFI.
Yeah.
I don't think he needed to make that dodge. I may be mistaken. Oh, that was a pretty straight line, so maybe he did. Oh, what? No.
What?
No, that's the wrong. You've done it wrong.
What? That's a...
It's a skink. It doesn't care about tackle zones.
Why? Gaudi, throwing the game away here, really.
Yeah, that's probably correct.
I would probably just move the skink around, wouldn't take any blitzes here and just go for it.
Let's see.
Man, that positioning here.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
well, that was scary, but you did it.
Run it in! Run it in!
It is just GG's.
Yeah, I think he's just BMing at this point.
Okay, Larkstar pulls it out. He actually did almost snake it. That is a 1 into a 2. A skink that did not have agility would have tripped.
Oh, I think Gaudi is really kicking himself for losing this game.
And Larkstar moves on into the round of 32. Was Larkstar planning on re-rolling? Or are you doing the Ravenpost story? Ravenpost has not actually played this game yet, so it's not a spoiler. One death on each for a side, but the lizard one was the whatchamacallit, the hemlock. Were there any Mysnix games for the lizards other than the one that got appoed?
I don't think so, but I think we can look at the team now after the players confirm it.
This was actually a surprisingly low low SPP game.
I mean, scores happened, injuries not too much.
Yeah, like, it just feels like there should have been more. Yeah, let's take a look at those teams. I'm curious. And what better reason could there be?
Finding.
Right there. Has the game been confirmed? It has. No level ups for the lizards. 1580 TV, 78k in the bank. They spent 50 on Hemlock, right? So they're 10k down from before the game. They must have not gotten a good roll. Yeah, like literally no level ups. And the losers. I don't think... Oh, no, they did get a level up. It was on the dirty player line rat. that would have been MVP. The one that fouled once, then got sent off. Well, okay then.
That was a game.
Yeah, that was. I think I'm about done for the day. So I think I saw Harngsarn in the chat. Are you ready to start your next game?
I think Steak Mittens is just starting up.
I mean, there's definitely someone who I can host. It is just a matter of whom. But while I figure that out, let's throw this on.
370 coaches entered REBBL Season 8, the biggest season on record.